Hey up guys, sorry it's been a while since I've done a video, just been a bit busy, busy with the engine, busy with other stuff, but here we are. So, oh, the camera, it's still a work in progress, there's still a lot to do. Get these out of the way. Okay, so I'll start at the front. So the wiring has been redone. If you saw the previous videos, there was a massive bunch of wires all over the place here. So what I decided to do was pull all the wiring off and start afresh. The ECU was down here. That was no good because the exhaust is on this side, and with the ECU going to my computer, which is over there, it meant it just didn't work because long cables and stuff like that. So the ECU is now up here. I've got all the connections for, well, all the sensors, all the outputs going in some 20mm conduit, which then goes off and around. This I still want to tidy up. The wires aren't perfect yet. I've still got a lot to do. Make all these nice and tidy. I'm going to wrap them up. But yeah, it runs. I'm not going to run it now because it's late and it's stupid loud, but it runs again. Just finished showing you the wires, just show you what I've done. So it's nice and neat. That goes off to the crank position sensor. And then these are sort of the ignition amplifier, you can call it. That goes off to the coils, and same over there. And then that is the cam position sensor. Injector block there. So I'm still going to neaten these up, but they're done for now. There's a lot of stuff that's not plugged in. So that is the that's the special flap that turns to for the variable intake length runners, whatever you call it. Same on that one there. I think they're just like a 5-volt solenoid, which I'm hoping I can wire into the Mega Squirt at a later date. The turbo system is done. You've seen that in the previous videos, I hope. If not, there you go. Okay, so what can I talk about? The cooling system. Try not to get off track. In the previous videos, there were some aluminium pipes that went right around the back of the engine. Those aluminium pipes were for the heater. Got rid of all those. I've just sort of bodged together some connections. It's just a bit of a bodge for now, but it does the job. Relocated the coolant reservoir up to the front. Talk about the oil system for the turbo, which has been a bit of a disaster. So it's a bit ugly, but you've got a wad of connections. So the oil pressure sensor, which is at the end of my finger there, that's been taken out. That's going from sort of, I think it was 1/2" BSP to sort of a 6mm connector, going to just some fuel line, going to a T. This line goes to the front for, I've got an oil pressure gauge, and then I've got a ball valve, and then this feed was going to the turbo. The ball valve is to restrict flow because I have no idea how much oil that turbo needs. And it's a good job I've got that because I had a massive leak. So the oil input flange, I'm not running water to turbos, no point, it don't get hot enough. And it don't really need water on, you could argue. So I had a massive leak off this, so basically I had 60 psi of oil squirting out all over the floor. So that was a total disaster, so quickly close the valve, turn the engine off. And what has gone wrong is my homemade flange, I've not got it flat, so it was just bad. So I need to start afresh. Also, my oil drain was going to the dipstick pipe, which I don't think is going to work. I think that's a total disaster. So I've got to redo the oil system for the turbo so it doesn't leak. And I'm contemplating, try and show you best I can. If I can just turn the light on. Oh no, don't do that. No. Camera's focusing, which I don't want it to do. You can't see it very well, sorry, but the sump there's a massive forward-facing sump. I'm actually going to remove that, thinking of removing that and drilling and tapping in oil return feed, oil return hose. So that's the plan for that. And that's a proper job then, instead of bodging with dipstick. So that's the turbo side of it. I had it running. The turbo, to give you a bit of history on that, it was on my Blue Engine, the 3SGT in the corner there. So I've got another YouTube channel. I did some drifting about 10 years ago, and that engine was in a Toyota MR2 with this turbo, which is a hybrid turbo. It's got a sort of a stage 1 hybrid compressor wheel, and basically I think I abused the hell out of it, overboosted it. So this, I think this feels it's a bit stiff to turn. I don't know if I've killed the bearings or what, but when the engine was idling, it was not spinning. Even you could say that there was oil leaking, so maybe that's why it wasn't spinning, but it was stiff. When I revved it, it eventually started to spin, but it was nothing like these modern day sort of ball bearing turbos. So I think this might be a bit iffy. But anyway. So turbo then, what I was going to talk to you about, updates wise. Okay, so the exhaust, it was stupid loud with that pipe like that. And I'll be honest, it didn't sound as good as I'd hoped. Maybe once the turbo's spinning, it will sound better. But what I'm doing now is, went to the scrapyard. This is the back box off of a diesel, relatively new shape Golf. I'm going to mount this in that location, off the ground. I'm going to weld it, or bolt it to the frame. I've also got that silencer off the same car, which is going to go approximately here. Zoom out a bit. It's going to go in the middle there. And then I'm going to connect all three together. So from the turbo to the silencer to the back box. Sorry. Turbo, silencer, then to the back box. And then I'm going to take the exhaust valve off the Volkswagen, off the Insignia. See me with a video. And I'm going to put the exhaust valve on here somewhere. So then I can have loud and quiet, because it's doing naught on the Insignia. So that's the exhaust system, that's to do. Fuel system, I need to get a proper petrol tank. I tried to make this all nice and neat, and it was a total fail. I used silicone. I knew it wouldn't work. I used standard household silicone, and the petrol fumes melted the silicone, which it was a stupid thing to do. But it's not safe. There's fumes everywhere. It's not a sealed container, so I don't want to burn the garage down. So that needs reworking. It works fine. Fuel return line, fuel pressure line, works absolutely fine, but it's just dangerous. What else have I got to talk to you about? Okay, so the throttle body. So this was, I've said before, I might repeat myself a bit on this video, but what the hell. This is, again, 3SGTE throttle body with a homemade adapter going to the Jaguar inlet manifold. I've got an air leak. Basically, the engine idles at about 1600 RPM, and it will idle below that. Even with the idle control valve stepper motor closed off, it still idles at 600 RPM. I've actually adjusted the screw on the throttle body, so the throttle body now is fully closed. You can't see. But there's not 1 degree open, it's fully sealed. So the engine should stall, should be no air. But obviously there's an air leak. So I think it's this adapter. I think this metal here is too thin, and I think it's warped. So I'm going to pull it off. I'm going to try and cover it in some sealant, but ultimately I think I need to redo this. If you're wondering, these are water lines. So this was hot water going into the inlet, so it doesn't ice up. That's what these are for. Back when it was on a S-Type. Now I could go stupid with this now, even though I don't have a car for this engine. I could get a new eBay turbo, and I could get myself sort of a 90mm, 95mm American V8 Chinese copy eBay throttle body. Because this is only like a 45mm throttle body, it's way too small for engine. So with that Chinese replica V8 throttle body, I could get an adapter, bolt it onto there. I'd have to watch out for clearance. But then I could have a proper, decent throttle body and make sure I don't have any leaks. So that's an option. The other thing is to convert it to a Mondeo inlet manifold, which is the flat, pretty one. It looks better than that, basically. That's one option. But we shall see. So the intention is to finish it off, get rid of the leaks, get it working properly, and then practice, use it as a practice to fine tune Mega Squirt, get a right nice idle on it, get it so when you blip the throttle it revs up nice. And then with it being the MS3X, I've got anti-lag and two-step and all those silly features. So I could set up anti-lag for no reason other than it looks good, it sounds good. That's about it for this video. Again, not just explaining what's going on. Hopefully I will, when I make some more progress with the engine, I'll get some footage, show you some stuff. Like I said, with the Vauxhall, the exhaust valve's coming off that onto this. That's about it for now. So thanks for watching. Any questions, let me know. I'll do some more videos. And see you in the future.